What's going on, everybody? This is the CinqBoys podcast.
Boy.
Actually, will crack me up every single time.
Yes, it is.
All right, we got the NFC North preview today, and then all of the Week One NFL preseason games have finished off. So, I've latched heavily onto a rookie quarterback. Jack knows who it is.
Yeah,
He's
we'll
going to
we'll
win
we'll
Rookie of the
touch on
Year.
some of the interesting topics. We're not going to go into every
Yeah,
game, but
but we
Joe
are going to
Joe's,
deep.
Joe's got a big time crush on Desmond Ritter.
Don't make me blush, dude. Dude, we're also gonna dive deep into the Giants. So buckle up. It's gonna be I'm upset. So I'll just that's how this is gonna go.
I
I'm
don't.
upset.
Okay, all right, we'll get there at some
A
point,
lot of
I'm sure.
energy. Yeah.
All right, do you want to start off with the NFC North, or do you want to go through the
I
news
want to
first?
do the no. I want to do the division of the news after.
Okay.
All right. Chicago Bears last year.
The Bears.
Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Justin Fields. I was a fan of him coming out of the draft. He seemed like he had a chip on his shoulder. Wasn't he passed up by like 4 teams, something like that? Was he drafted like 10?
I'm not sure. I just know he wasn't the first quarterback chosen.
Yeah, whenever you're not first, you're last.
What? It was the Trevor Lawrence draft, right? It was last
Yeah.
year.
Mac
Who else went in
Jones
that
is
draft? Yeah,
Mac
Mac
Jones.
Jones. Yeah, yeah.
Why do I feel like Tua? Like
Tua was 2020. Yeah.
Trey Lance?
No, I think he sat. I don't know.
Doesn't seem like we know. All right. We know that Mac Jones. Anyway, Justin Fields definitely got passed on. Did not have a good year last year whatsoever. 1,800 yards, 7 touchdowns. More picks than touchdowns for a quarterback. You might lose your entire career over a season like that. David Montgomery. A lot of people are high on him. I'm not. Jack.
Uh,
Yikes! Don't
great,
like that.
great RB2 option in fantasy. He did a lot of work for me last year. Of course you flash back and you look at the actual stats and it's like, wow, I don't remember it being that bad. So yeah.
Um, I feel like if you're an RB2 in fantasy, you're probably an RB2 in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, absolutely not.
dude, most guys that aren't an RB1 in fantasy are not good enough to not split carries. So they got like a dual running back set on their team because they're not good enough to handle the load by themselves. Tell me I'm wrong.
All right, you're talking about being a certain caliber of player. You're talking about the top 12 running backs in the league.
RB1s.
Yeah, but when you're saying RB1, there's 32 RB1s in the NFL.
Dude, I mean, they have to put somebody's name at the top of the depth
That's
chart,
what
but
I'm
that doesn't
saying.
mean
When
that
you
they're
say,
actually RB1s.
yeah, but when you say when you're an RB2 in fantasy, you're most likely not an RB1 in real life. It's like, well, Dave Montgomery is, there's no one else better in Chicago.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, Khalil Herbert, they drafted last year.
I don't even know who that is.
Yikes. Okay, I think they did. He didn't get the touches that I would have hoped for, especially splitting carries with an RB2. But dude, I don't know. I think he's good. Darnell Mooney looks like a star in the making, though. Maybe if he had a quarterback that was better than Justin Fields, he would have been more of a star. He had an amazing catch. I think it was yesterday or in practice the day before. He like caught it over like two guys.
Classic
Oh,
Mooney. Mooney didn't show up for me when I needed it when I picked him up in fantasy,
dude,
I think he was
yeah.
hurt last year a little bit too.
And I feel like he was young. Like I feel like he wasn't being featured. And dude, Justin Fields is ass. Like I think we're overselling him right now, giving him too much credit. I think he's terrible at football.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. He
Okay.
got very limited playing time last year.
Yeah.
That is a like baseline information everybody should know. It's not like he started 17 games and he just played really bad. He didn't get the looks he needed. He didn't start till like week 7.
I mean, it says in our notes 12 games. Sounds like a nice week 5 coming. Andy Dalton
I don't
played
think,
8 though. I don't know, dude.
dude, I don't, yeah, exactly. I don't think it's as cut clean as that. It's like, I think he came in relief a couple times. Like, dude, we went through Trey Lance and Jimmy G earlier. It's like Trey Lance didn't play as many games as it says he played. He played like
Yeah.
a quarter or a drive in some games.
All right. I don't know if they added anything to this offense.
They lost
What did they
Khalil Mack.
draft? I
I
thought
have
that
no idea, dude.
did they even have Khalil Mack last year?
Yeah, I think he might have been hurt.
Probably. Yeah, dude. The first thing on our notes for their defense is ton of injuries, and that they held Jack's best friend Kirk Cousins to a career low 87 passing yards with not a single starter from their secondary.
He's good guy Kirk. You know
Yeah.
why?
Just don't fucking shame Casey's name like that, dude. That's not fair at
Dude, the
all.
purple and gold, we share names, you know why? Tyler Gordon, cornerback from Washington, was their first pick. He was 39th overall. Yeah, dude, they gave us their
Holy shit.
fucking first rounder. I forgot about that. And then their second pick was later in the second round, 9 picks later. 48th overall, Penn State safety Jaquan Brisker.
Yikes, dude. I mean, I guess they're addressing that secondary, but yikes. Also, Roquan Smith asked for a trade
Hmm.
earlier this week.
Just a massive yikes factory.
He had a
Wait,
huge
is this the
season.
receiving core that has like all the trash names? Like N'Keal Harry is like the most experienced. Isn't he like out with like an Achilles or something?
I don't know why you're smiling, all excited about
Yeah, I
that,
don't know.
dude.
But dude, it's like I don't know. Being a Giants fan my whole life and seeing how inept they are at building their team and just mediocrity after mediocrity, it's kind of funny to look at teams that handle things even worse than your team does, you know?
Yo, you just made me think of something. When you said that, I immediately thought, oh, we're just not good at building an O line. But we've drafted O linemen throughout the years, dude. Eric Flowers, Will Hernandez. That's all I can remember.
Uh Justin Pugh walked because we
Yeah.
sucked. Um
Didn't he?
we picked up Zeitler 2 years ago. He's out. He's on the Ravens now.
Oh, dude, he
Um
had a really good PFF grade the year before we had him. And then his career was in the sewer.
it's
Welcome to
like
the New York Football Giants.
it's like
Yeah.
this is his career. He's going along Giants right back to another team. All right. We're going straight again.
All right. Anyway, the Bears were bad at everything last year, ranked 22nd by PFF in their O line and their defense. But they did get a new coach. I think Jack knows more about this guy than I do. Eberfrois?
Eberflus. I think he's the DC. He was the DC for the Colts last year. Let me double
Yeah,
check
good
that.
call, dude. Oh, dude, I forgot that you know I have it right here. Yeah, I was testing you. I was
Yeah.
seriously testing
Joe sent me all the notes before the podcast, except for the Bears notes. So
you.
figured we'd
I
get
tried
that
my
out of the way
best, dude.
quick.
And they have a new OC, Luke Gotzi. Getsy. Got some a new coach. You know what I'm saying?
Got him.
He was the quality control and quarterback coach of the Packers last year, and probably a couple years before that. I mean, Justin Fields is not exactly Aaron Rodgers, but we'll see what this guy can do, you know, and maybe he could put the pieces in the right order, you know, or really get the boys buzzing over there and shit to have it.
All right, well, okay, so we did QB tiers last podcast, and you're saying he's not Aaron Rodgers. Dude, who is like a comparable that he can like kind of look forward to playing like dude,
Justin Fields.
he's very mobile. We're seeing a lot more of this quarterback nowadays where the passing is not necessarily the best attribute of the quarterback. And I would throw Daniel Jones in that conversation, but you have Jalen Hurts. Maybe you could throw Tua in that conversation. Justin
Dude,
Fields.
I'm tired of putting Tua in any category. I need to see him do well at one thing before I fucking give him a category. I'm tired. He's also built like a Lego. So I'm tired of it.
Okay, so I guess my point here is what is his potential? Because you see other players in the league, especially these young guys coming in, where it's like they aren't going to dot guys down the field. They're like, oh, problem. I'm super athletic. I can go run for a first down. We're seeing that more and more common.
I mean, you'll see Desmond Ritter this year. He knows how to dunk.
Yikes, dude.
Yes, but dude, I'm telling you, this guy's the next coming.
Dude, there's no one like you with the bias. There's no one like
What are
you.
you talking about bias, bro?
You watched one preseason game, dude. One preseason game, and then you told me to watch it. And I was like, and you saw the same things, and you're super high on him.
I drafted him in Madden franchise.
Oh my god,
dude, we're 8-1, actually 10-1.
Because you played the first 6 games on pro. Meanwhile, I'm struggling along 8-5 on all Madden the whole year.
That was so funny.
Quarterback's averaging like 120 a game.
I figured out you got to run the ball anyway, dude. You got to run the ball. All right.
Speaking of running the ball, that's what the Bears should do. It's another rebuild year. They don't really have a lot of names. David Montgomery, sell him high. He's not a top tier running back. So, I mean, I would do what the Giants should have done with Saquon. I love the fact that Saquon's still on the team, but I would do like sell him high before he got injured. Dude, we don't need you. We're terrible. We don't need you. Let's go get assets for a great player.
Dude, the thing is, like the Giants, when they had Saquon at like, I guess his peak, that's not really fair to say. Why would you sell a rookie running back that had the year that he had? But dude, they had pieces. They had Odell. They had an aging Eli, but it's not like they were in a position to fully rebuild. Like the Bears are in the deep bottom of the ocean right now. If Justin Fields doesn't turn out well, they are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL for like the next 7 years.
That's cap.
They'll probably give Fields this season and next season, especially with a new coach. There's only a second year. Actually, they'll probably give him a 4th year, or they draft a quarterback to be his backup next year or the year after. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I just think, especially with the quarterback position, there's this arbitrary, intangible it factor where you could tell some guys have it, some guys don't. Like Justin Herbert, everybody's freaking out about this guy, but for good reason. He's proven in NFL games that he can consistently lead his team to winning games. And we've seen all too often it's a recycle job by the NFL that they keep recycling all these names, and the Panthers taking on Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Like, that both of those guys aren't going to be able to compete with the top players in the league.
Such a good point. Like, and it's the most expensive stupid signing too, dude. They're paying 2 quarterbacks that even if you get them at their lowest market value, because they were picked 1 and 2 in the draft, quarterbacks, you have to pay them a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Idiots, dude.
The Giants
probably have Tyrod really cheap.
Yeah.
And Danny Dimes isn't even locked up for next year, dude. Beautiful. Unreal move. Joe Shane, I love you. He's just a happy guy.
Just management in the NFL has to get better at, in general, like it's not even like a Giants thing, but like realizing talent and making a move.
Dude, the other thing is like in the Panthers situation, the rest of the roster is not ready to win. So it's like taking a chance on Baker only gets you so far. Pay Mike Glennon to be your starter. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know you're not going to win games, pay a guy $5 million to play under center for you. I don't understand. Like, you know you're gonna lose.
Now, the only argument that I have against that is you're not competing this year, so it doesn't really matter where your money's going this year if it's not on your books next year. So I'm wondering
Okay,
how
yeah,
the
you're right.
Baker and Sam Darnold contracts factor into the Panthers payroll system because if they're both expiring next year, it's like, all right, like perfect. We're hitting the cap
Oh my
floor.
god, dude, they might be.
We're hitting the cap floor and we're going to be terrible this year and we're going to bounce back next year with a new quarterback.
And a lot of money coming off the books, dude. Baker and Darnold both drafted in the same year, 2018. So at the end of this year, this is their fourth year, I'm pretty sure. Or fifth. Either way, dude,
Uh,
they didn't extend. They
it's
didn't Baker
Saquon's
didn't with
fifth
the
year,
Browns.
right? They were all the same draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, last thing just to wrap up on the Bears. It's kind of where I'm getting at with Justin Fields. It's like I don't know. I didn't see much from him last year. In the little reps he got, it's like what did they use a first or second rounder on him? I'm not sure.
I have no clue, dude.
It's like
We thought he was top five. I don't fucking know.
gotta have a shorter leash for these guys. Uh, that directly goes against what Joe thinks about Daniel Jones, but for me, a little bit Daniel Jones is like writing on the wall. Maybe the offense can help him out, but I I don't know.
All right. Well, we had the Bears somehow finagling 5 wins this year. That's really all we got on the schedule. It's not worth getting into. Let's move on to the Lions. Jack has Jared Goff in the third tier, I'm pretty
No,
sure.
no chance. No shot. No, I think he
Yikes.
was in the time to prove something category.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like these are your last legs. I mean, dude, he's not on a good team. Apparently, DeAndre Swift is like gonna be one of the most improved players this year. They also have Jamal Williams. Amon-Ra St. Brown is getting random praise. He did have 90 catches last year. And they got TJ Hawk. Dude, I might be underestimating the Lions a little bit here. I
Oh,
know
Hard
you've
Knocks
been
season,
saying
the
that.
Lions, I'm fully on the Lions bandwagon. I'm rooting for them
Dan
so
Campbell,
hard. Dan Campbell, unbelievable.
fiery.
Dude, he says man like 87 times. Like unbelievable. The coaching staff is great. Hard Knocks does like a really good deep dive on like the whole structure of the team and like how they run things. And um, I don't know. They're gonna be young. They're gonna be feisty. They're gonna be hungry. Everybody saw that Jamal Williams clip go viral of him start crying in the huddle when he's like, "Look at that damn record." Like that's what I think about. I care about you guys. Like I don't want to be as bad as we were last year, kind of thing.
I didn't see that video.
He started crying in the huddle while breaking the team down because he doesn't want to be as bad as last year. It's pretty much the
All right.
little cliff notes there, bud.
Dude, I put this in the notes. When I Googled Lions current roster, these are the names that came up.
Oh
Matt
no.
Stafford, Ndamukong Suh, Calvin Johnson, Golden Tate, Jeff Garcia,
Oh no, no. Oh no, no.
Darius Slay. Those are the
Uh
guys. Those are like the Lions all-time 2010s team.
yeah, it's I mean, you throw like Barry Sanders in there and that's like all-time Lions greats.
Yeah. I mean, that was a long time ago, but yeah. I don't know anybody else on the Lions to ever play in the
Yeah,
NFL except
exactly.
for him. I guess you're right. The Lions did add DJ Chark, who I think a lot of people saw a lot of potential in when he was on the Jags, but that didn't work out. And they drafted Jamison Williams, who's the receiver out of either
Did he go
Oklahoma
to
or
Alabama?
Alabama.
Yeah, I
One
think
of
he was
one of
Alabama.
the red jersey, white plain numbers
Yeah.
uniforms.
Yeah, the Crimson Tide is just a little bit darker. That's it.
All right, their defense ranked 28th by PFF, and they are bottom three in explosive pass rate and pressure rate. Pretty much, they can't get to the quarterback. So, dude, I keep just like thinking about the Giants. Every stat we talk about, it's like I dude, when we drafted Odell, I was a huge fan of that pick. When we drafted Saquon, I was a huge fan of that pick. Um, Even like Evan Ingram, I held on to the idea that he could help our team for so long. Dude, fuck skill position players. The O line and the D line has to be the biggest priority if you want to win football games. Like, and this is the main point that I make about comparing Daniel Jones to other quarterbacks. I'll get into this later. Is he has had the worst offensive line over the last 4 years in the NFL. And we're going to sit over here and act like we don't know that. And we're going to compare him to other guys. Like, dude, Jalen Hurts. I was in an Uber on the way home from work today. The dude was playing uh, a radio show that was talking about the NFL. And this guy, they were talking about Jalen Hurts. And I was thinking, like, Jalen Hurts' O line his whole career
Mm-hmm.
has been amazing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Side note, a dude called into the radio show and said the Jets were going to start 5-4 with Joe Flacco. Zach Wilson was going to get healthy, and they weren't going to play Zach Wilson because Flacco was winning football games. Not the first 9 weeks of the Jets season are like Bengals, Steelers,
Oh
Buccaneers,
no.
Chiefs, Ravens. It's like,
Oh, the
dude,
Ravens,
they might
dude.
go 1-8, and this guy
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, Joe Flacco's gonna take us to the promised land." I was laughing like fuck, and then bench Zach Wilson when he gets healthy. Serious side note there, but yeah, they have a terrible D line, and their offensive line is actually pretty good. Penny Sewell, who's on my Madden team, traded Nick Gates for him straight up. Yes,
Do you have him
buddies.
playing center?
I think I signed or I traded like a third rounder for Ben Jones. He's just like a random center who's ranked like I think like 78. I think that's his rating. Dude, my
Okay.
line is stacked. Anyway,
We
uh,
just rediscovered Madden and
yeah.
we've fallen completely back in love with it. So
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna play 7 straight hours after we record this one. And not feel bad about any of it. All right, Lions we had, dude. I guess I did this before I really started paying attention to the Lions offense and their coach. Oh, they have the same coach. 4-13. We picked them to go worse than the Bears. How do you feel about that now?
I don't know. There's just not a whole lot there for either team. Um, there's recognizable names on the Lions.
Hmm,
It's just
it's a good
like
way to
T
put it.
Hawk. Like I'm gonna try to pick him up in fantasy as like my second tight end.
I
Um,
can't believe you draft so many tight ends in fantasy. Wasn't it like 2 mock drafts ago? You put 3 on your fucking roster.
yeah.
3 tight ends, dude.
Well, because the tight end works as a flex in our league.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jack's smart.
And then sell off the third one high. Like if you just can't get like a good depth receiver, which is impossible, like you're in the 10th round, 11th round, and you're trying to get a receiver, it's straight up trash. So get
Yeah.
something somebody wants.
We do have the Lions beating the Bears, the Jets, the Seahawks, and the Commanders. But we have them losing to the Jags, losing to the Panthers. I could see those going the other way.
Yeah. I get definitely the Jags game. Jags
Losing to the
haven't really
Vikings
shown me
twice.
anything that they've improved at all.
Yeah,
I
totally,
mean,
totally.
Trayvon Walker looked good in his first, what, 6 snaps of the game, and then he didn't play. So,
Dude, I don't like these. Like Aiden Hutchinson got a sack or a tackle for loss, and I saw this highlight all over all the networks. of him celebrating so hard. So now, like, there's definitely people out there that are like, all right, he is going to have a big season. Like, dude, I hate the way the media is portraying these preseason games. Like Malik Willis's run, like, that's pretty much the only one.
I think it's the overhype that goes into the NFL season. It's like they just got to ride this wave of everybody being super excited about NFL fantasy season. Like, dude, we see a 40-yard pass down the field. It's like it's not that crazy, but like he puts it
Oh, that
on
was
him,
like
and it's
Trey Lance, dude.
yeah, it's
Trey
like
Lance had a
I think it was a dude. I think he had
70-yard pass
I think
touchdown.
he had 96 yards passing, and that one play was like 67 yards. So
I think it was. I think he had less total yards. I think he only had 76-yard passing. Because dude, either way, whether it's what you said or what I'm saying, the rest of his passes were like 6 for 7, but for like 25 yards.
mhm,
So it's like, if that big play doesn't happen, what are we looking to do? But
mhm.
still, big Trey Lance fan. I don't want y'all to think I'm not. I'm a huge 49ers guy
Yeah,
this year.
Joe put him in the fifth tier. So
All right. Let's move on to the Vikings. Jack, I want you to drive the boat on this one, considering how much you love Kirk Cousins.
I mean, good guy Kirk. He's uh
I
he's,
fucking hate
he's
this
an
guy.
absolute animal. 4,200 yards last year. You know, he protects the football. He put up a 33 spot in the touchdown category with 7 picks. That's a great year for the Mr. Can't show up in prime time.
Yeah, how
Kirk
many
Cousins.
games did they win?
I
It's
think
like
they
a
went eight
Russell
and
Wilson
nine.
stat line.
I think they went on a
Yikes.
heavy losing streak in the middle of the season, but they were a pretty good team. I think injuries really derailed them a little bit. You know, Jay Jeff, he's probably top three. Some would say top receiver in the league. They're deep at receiver. Dalvin Cook's a great running back. They got a very well-rounded, balanced offense, and they used to have a great defense. I think they're starting to get back to those roots because there was a day when playing Minnesota's defense was a nightmare. Guys are getting older. Zimmer's gone. Uh, but I
Dude,
think
they
I think
did
they'll have
have
a
a
pretty
good
good season.
defense. 51 total sacks was second in the NFL, and they were the fourth best team on third down. Wow.
This
Those
is
are
ranked
huge
number
stats.
nothing on PFF.
Yeah, whatever. They're probably like eighth or ninth because all I wrote here was weak spot is corner play with no statistics whatsoever. I'm gonna trust my own word on that one. But yeah, dude. Also, another thing about the offense before we move on from that, Jack has officially given up on Adam Thielen. He doesn't think he's a good receiver.
I've had him for the past 3 years in fantasy. I think this
Dude,
is
he
well
had
founded.
726 and 10 touchdowns last year. That's a good fantasy year.
I think it was very, very spotty. I wouldn't even say streaky. I
Okay.
would say like he came out in the beginning of the year super hot, injured, blah blah blah. Some games where he would play and just wouldn't score at all, and then he had like 2 touchdowns late in the season, like in one game, like very spotty play.
All right. Well, I'm probably gonna take him if he's available. I just think
Thielen,
that, like, yeah. I mean, I don't know how
dude,
many
he's a good
games he
bench
played.
receiver. Not gonna lie.
Well,
Our league has
if
two
he's gonna be
receivers.
my bench guy, then I'm probably not gonna take him. If that makes any sense, it's like reverse psychology. My bench is strictly
Don't say
young guys
rookies.
that
Oh
could be
my god.
explosive.
Yikes.
Why, dude? Who needs a fat bench? Who needs a fat bench? If you
I
draft
didn't say
well,
fat bench. I'm
you're
just
just
saying don't
covering bye
rely
weeks.
on rookies to fill in for the guys that get injured on in your starting lineup. You
Why?
never know how the rookies are going to do. What are you going to draft? Uh,
Jalen Tolbert as he's the number 2 receiver on their depth chart. Yes, I'm gonna take Jalen Tolbert if he's
the
available.
Vikings?
The Cowboys.
I didn't know that. We're talking about the Vikings,
Dude,
and you just
Jalen
throw some
Tolbert,
name out there.
because we're talking about rookie receivers.
I don't.
Jahan
I did.
Dotson.
I was gonna say like three or four names before Tolbert.
Exactly, bro. Tolbert is around during the last two rounds of the draft. Dude, if he goes off in week one, which is very
He
possible
won't
because
be.
Gallup isn't going to be there and the other dude is not going to be there.
He won't be there in our league,
Yes, he
dude.
has.
I'm telling you, there are some big time nerds in our league.
All
PL has won the past 2 years. His team is insanely deep every year.
right. Anyway, um,
Just depressed Joe real quick. We have the
not
Vikings
even that.
going.
I've just never been like I'm genuinely invested in fantasy before the season, during the season. Like I would just end up getting drunk, dude, and totally forgetting about it. And I forget about it until 12:30 on Sunday when I'm at work running around, and then I throw in like, oh shit, this guy's on a bye this week. Let's plug in this random guy that I have on the bench or the top projected waiver wire. Like I
Mhm.
would never actually look into anything. So this is my first real year. That's what I'm calling it.
I'm really excited about that because in years prior, you've been a little bit of an easy dub. So glad to put that to rest.
I'm gonna put you to rest in your bed
You gonna tuck me
after.
in? We have the Vikings going 8-9 this year.
Yikes!
We have the Vikings going 8-9 this year, losing to teams like the New York Giants,
Yeah, I
the
think Giants
Colts,
gonna
the
handle
Packers.
the Vikings. Actually, now that I think about it, if they have that good of a pass rush and our O line doesn't get it together and our secondary doesn't get it together, we're probably gonna get fucking slaughtered by their receiver options and their rush on the defense.
Giants are an over team.
Giants are an over team.
Um, but we have them losing to teams like I think these are the most notable. Philly, Arizona, and New England. I think you and me have displayed how we feel about New England.
Dude,
But
I think week 8 Cardinals versus Vikings or Vikings versus Cardinals is the most unwatchable game. I don't fucking care about either of these teams, and they have enough reasons to make me care, if that makes sense.
yeah, watch it be Sunday
I'll
Night Football that week.
I'll watch it only if there's a gun to my head, just out of spite, because I don't like these teams.
All right, set reminder for week 8, Cardinals Vikings, probably like Sunday Night Football or something.
It's probably 1 p.m. and thank the fucking
There's
Lord
no way
that
that
they're
it's 1
West
p.m. because
Coast.
both of their teams.
Minnesota's the Eastern time zone, I swear.
No, it is not.
I think it is.
It's Central.
I'm convinced that no one is on Central Time. It's
Nashville's
just
on
East
Central
and
Time.
West.
I've been there.
Thanks. All right. Dude, I think the Vikings are super pedestrian. I think that Kirk Cousins is not a winning quarterback, and that is their downfall. He could put up the numbers all he wants, but I think when it matters the most, he chokes big time. Dude, you could throw 33 touchdowns in a 17 game season. That's
I'm
not even averaging 2 touchdowns a game with how
I,
much they throw and the weapons they have.
yeah,
Not
no,
close.
I wasn't reacting to that. They're playing at 1 p.m. on October 30th,
I'm a fucking sniper.
but that means that they're playing at 12 o'clock Central Time.
What am I missing?
Huh?
What are we missing? I was right.
No, I'm just frustrated.
Oh, yikes. All
I
right.
can't imagine living anywhere besides the Eastern Coast, Eastern time zone. Imagine watching football games at 12 o'clock. 10:30? Are you kidding me?
I mean, dude, at the same time, like the 8 o'clock game is over at 8 o'clock.
Dude, I guess my point is that I hate earlier. I need games to be later, always. Later, later, later. That's why I like the East. Because when you're watching the Warriors in the playoffs this year, it was like, oh, watch the 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 earlier game in that second round at 5 o'clock, and then you get the Warriors at 8 or the Warriors at 7.
Or the Warriors at 10.
No, for us, Warriors at 10 p.m. That's
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It really
Um,
was.
but I, dude, I can't imagine waking up on the West Coast and like, oh, it's 10 a.m. Let's watch the Giants. Like that sounds terrible.
I
One
think the
o'clock is
sun
early enough.
isn't the sun like up earlier for them
Yeah,
to the angle of the axis of the Earth?
rises in the west, sets in the east.
Oh my God, that's real. Not just the U.S. Okay. Way over our heads. All right, we're moving on to the Packers. Jack, Jack, uh, dude. Okay, I'm just gonna start off with this. I'm most excited not about Aaron Rodgers without Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers at all. Not excited about Aaron Jones, even though he had a big end of the year last year. Not excited about anything on this team except for Christian Watson. That's all I'm gonna say, dude. I would love to see Aaron Rodgers in this stage of his career without Davante Adams. I want him to fail, but I want him to have to lean on Watson to win games. That'd be sick. Right out of college. That'd be sick. And the reason why he left is because they refused to draft receivers, or he was threatening to leave is because they refused to draft receivers. He gets exactly what he wanted with Watson drafted in the first round. Dude, if he sucks, he sucks. And he sucks.
Aaron
Fuck
Rodgers.
The most arrogant loser of all time.
Wow.
Tell me I'm wrong, dude. This guy boasts and brags about everything, but when it comes to winning the important games, he can't fucking do it.
I don't think he's arrogant.
What are you talking about, dude? You're insane.
I don't think he's arrogant.
Everything about him screams arrogance.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but bullshit, dude. You know it's true.
dude, he's just like every other athlete out there that's overexposed on social media. They always feel like they have to defend themselves. And he being a top 5 player at his position in the biggest sport in the country, he gets a lot of eyes on him. And he is very sensitive and feels like he has to defend his name a lot, and his name gets thrown around a lot. I just think that he has a very bad PR. He looks like an asshole. His family situation.
Family situation. He doesn't have kids, dude.
Dude, he broke off from his brother and his parents because they were like asking for money or whatever. He hasn't talked to them in like 10 years or something.
What an asshole. Of course your
Um,
family's gonna ask for money. You just signed a $400 million
dude, I don't really
contract.
know the whole story, so I don't want to get super into it. All I'm saying is he's going to be just like he is the past couple of years. I think you're taking that one playoff game where he completely neglected every other receiver on his receiving core and just went to Davante, relied way too heavily on him. I think he's going to dish it around. Lazard's going to have a good year. Watson's going to have a great year. Uh, Robert Tunyon's going to have a couple touchdowns. He's going to protect the football. He's going to get at least 35. And that's Aaron Rodgers. Probably going to choke in the playoffs. I don't think he is built his team. I worded that wrong. I don't think his team is built for a winner, though their defense is much better than I thought it was, and their offensive line is like top 10, top five in the league. I don't think they are built for a winner, nor do I think that he is able to win in the playoffs anymore. But there'll be another 11 plus win team again, like every year.
Okay. We know that they're gonna win this division. Like, we don't even have to really get into it. Like, the Packers and Aaron Rodgers, what is it? Haven't been to the Super Bowl since 2010. And how many years have they made the playoffs, dude? Like, and how many
Let's look
games
it up.
does he? How many games in the regular season in this span in between when he like the now and the last time he went to a Super Bowl has he put up over 45 points in a regular season game? To the point where their offense is literally unstoppable, especially when he's rolling. But then as soon as the lights are the brightest, he really struggles to score in a lot of these in playoff games, dude. What is that? What is that? What did you type into Google?
8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's 7-9 since 2010 in the playoffs.
Yikes, dude. How many first round exits is that? At least 2.
3.
Oh, gross, dude. With how good of a quarterback he is, gross.
Dude, they missed the playoffs 2017 and 18. Yeah, it's not great. It is not great. I don't know why I looked up Packers stats because I definitely should have looked up Rodgers stats, but dude, 7-9 in the playoffs since winning the Super Bowl.
People try to shit on Eli.
I
Eli's
dude,
playoff
first thing I
record
thought
is
of
like
as I was finishing that sentence was
eight
Eli
and
Manning.
two. It's like, yeah, he only made it to the playoffs 4 times, but at least once he got there, he fucking knew how to win games.
Hell yeah. As like the 6.5 seed every time.
And an absolute goofball.
Yeah.
With
Goon.
a fifth of the athleticism, a fifth of the arm, a fifth of the fucking swag.
2-time Tom Brady killer. That's where Tom Brady actually gets his diet from, is Eli. The M10. How are you? Yeah, that made Joe real mad.
No, I don't know what an M10 is. I couldn't even fake
Instead
it.
of TB12, EM10.
Oh, I thought you said M10. I didn't.
I think I might have.
Either way. Okay. Anyway, we have. Oh, the Packers get Bakhtiari back. And this guy named
David Bakhtiari.
I will never be good at names. I'm better with hearing. If I hear the name a lot, I'm fine. If I just read it, I'm a loss. All right, we have them losing to the Bucks in week 3. We have them winning all the games. Losing to the Bucks in week 3, losing to the Patriots in week 4, losing to the Bills in week 8, losing to the Cowboys in week 10, losing to Philly week 12, losing to the Rams in week 15. Their schedule is nothing to scoff at. We do have them finishing 11-6, beating all the teams that they should, including the Dolphins, the Titans, and the rest of
I don't know. It's just like when you say their record, I mean their schedule's nothing to scoff at. Like, don't forget they play the Lions twice, they play the Bears twice, they play the Giants, and they play the Commanders. That's 6 games right there. They should win.
And the Vikings, dude.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they split, but I would expect them to win at least one game against the Vikings.
Yeah. So they just got to go 4-5 with the rest of their schedule, and they're going to finish 11-6 if they split with the Vikings, sweep the division.
And I think 11-6 is also conservative. Like they could probably get 12, maybe even.
Yeah, I mean, We had them lose all of their challenging games except for the Titans and the Dolphins, I guess. Like we don't know what the Dolphins are actually going to be, but I could see them beating the Patriots. I could see them
Yeah.
beating
I was gonna say the
the
only
Cowboys or
questionable
the
one for me
Eagles.
is probably the Packers Patriots. Because dude, we're
The
high on the Pats, but
I
like
know, dude.
recent history, it's been the Packers would kill the Patriots if it's like a collective of the past 3 years.
Maybe. I don't know, dude. The
Regular
Patriots
season,
snuck
not
up on people.
playoffs.
Okay. All right.
And
I
I'm
don't
not
want to
trying
talk
to
about
just like
Aaron Rodgers anymore.
I'm not just trying to discount playoffs like it doesn't matter. I'm just saying like we're talking about the regular season. It's like, yeah, A AR-12 is gonna yikes, dude. That's actually like the name of a gun.
AR-15.
He's the gun.
Oh, AA-12.
AA-12. The automatic shotgun.
All
Never
right.
used it in my life.
Done with that. Done with Aaron Rodgers, bitch ass.
Whoa, that's 4-time NFL MVP
Bitch
AR-12.
ass.
That's gonna be my thing this year. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the listeners already. You're already gonna be pissed off. I am abbreviating every quarterback's name with their number. Ironically.
What's DJ8? Oh,
DJ
dude,
Deej
I
8.
can't just like blindly jump onto everything. Especially that.
You don't jump onto anything. Oh.
All right, I have some very, very strong opinions coming. But first I want to talk about play action pools.
Because why not?
Hell yeah, brother.
CinqBoys, especially partners with play action pools. It's a platform where you can, get together with your family, friends, and everybody knows what a survivor pool is, right?
Hell yeah.
You pick one team every week. Once you pick that team to cover the spread in the CinqBoys pool, if you want to be a part of that, if you want to start your own, you can pick whichever rules that you want. You don't have to pick the spread, you can pick the money on. But you get one team per week. You can't pick them again the rest of the year. Once you lose, you're out. Last one standing wins. You could make the wager however much you want. And if you use the code CINQ, you get 15% off of the small price that you have to pay to be able to use play action pools. Once again, CINQ. That's the code. 15% off.
I'm gonna kill you in that.
No fucking way, dude.
Yeah. No, I already have my first 8 weeks drawn up.
No, you don't. I think you're capping. I really don't think that you did that much research. And I think that if you actually feel confident
Wow.
about me, no, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying I don't know when you would have had the time because we only started talking about this like 2 days ago when you've been out. And yesterday, I know you played Madden. Yeah, I'm on to
Gotcha.
you, bro. I'm on to you. I'm secretly tracking you. All right, let's get into the NFL preseason. Now, I am getting super pissed off because a lot of the perception of certain players, not all players, are based off of these 15-second clips of one play. Example A is Malik Willis. I wanted the Giants to draft him. He fell and he fell and he fell further. And I wanted the Giants to take a chance. I was on the fence about DJ. Things are different now. But I wanted them to take him. And he plays the majority of the Titans game, first preseason week. And he goes 6 for 11 with 60 yards. And I think it was 25 yards rushing on 6 rushes or something. And he has this one play where it's a design quarterback run to the right side of the field He sees that it's blown up. So he tails it back, reverses, and goes all the way to the left side and runs it in, breaks the tackle. It's like all in all, like a 12-yard run that he makes look like he's the coming of Christ. And that's how the media portrayed it. Was that Malik Willis is unfucking believable as a football player. Now, I went back and I watched the YouTube clip the NFL posted of every run and throw that Malik made. And let me tell you, this guy is wildly inaccurate. Has no fucking clue what a pocket is or how to stay inside of it or step up into it or wait for plays to develop.
All right.
Stop.
All
I
right.
know this is true.
You said I don't think you mentioned this, but Vrabel was interviewed after, and he was like, "I wish he would have stayed in the pocket more." And that's when you started noticing how much he moved outside of the pocket.
No.
It changed my perspective a whole lot.
It probably would have aided in my point. It actually did. I saw that
Way after I watched this clip, dude.
Okay.
Because I saw that one, dude. I kept seeing, dude. The NFL posted, ESPN, SportsCenter, everybody posted this run by Malik Willis. I'm like, what really happened? Because I didn't see any other plays from that game, and I know he played the whole game. So when I watched it, it was a 5-step drop back, and instead of him taking 3 steps back into the pocket, which was created nicely by the Titans line, he would tail it backwards and roll out. Pick up 4 yards or lose 2 yards. Or he's not looking down the field. Dude, it's just like inexperience, immaturity. I don't like it. I don't like how the media so easily takes one play and paints a whole picture. And then I started listening to guys like Nick Wright. And he's over here. Tannehill lost the locker room and that the Titans should keep him on a short leash this year because Malik Willis is the emotional, potentially, savior for the Titans locker room. The Titans team that Ryan Tannehill led to the AFC Championship. Tell me I'm wrong.
When was that?
2 years ago?
No.
Yeah.
AFC chip 2 years ago?
I think so. Either way,
years
dude,
ago,
they've
who
had
went to
playoff
the-
success with him.
You're telling me the Chiefs played the Titans in the AFC chip?
I think so.
No, it was the Bills. Because I remember the Stephon Diggs watching the Chiefs celebrate going to the Super Bowl back-to-back years. And they played in the divisional this year, but they played in the AFC chip the year before that.
So who did the Chiefs play in the AFC Championship this year? The Bengals.
The Bengals.
Yeah.
Shut up. All right. Anyway, my point is that Tannehill has been able to get this team to the playoffs, and I just think it's Malik Willis was passed on by all 32 teams multiple times. I do not think that this one run of him reversing the field and scoring should paint the picture of now Ryan Tannehill's job is in serious jeopardy. I think that's insane. I think it's nothing.
They did play the Chiefs, but 3 years ago in the AFC chip.
Yeah. Okay. Tannehill was a quarterback, right? That feels so much better. I really thought I just threw it out there. And I didn't too. All right. So that leads me into Jack. Do you have anything to say about Malik Willis?
I think all of this is an overreaction. I think you could chalk it up to the media understands that football fans are hungry right now, and they knew exactly what to deliver. It's every single year. Any preseason highlight is going to be blown up 87,000 times. Feeding the football fans what they want. Also with a guy like Malik Willis, there's so much intrigue around him and everybody's really excited because he's the guy that was potentially going in the first round and then he dropped to a good team in the third round and it's like, well, let's see what becomes of him. He's a crazy athlete. I just think he already had a lot of interest around him and then you have his NFL debut in a preseason game, that's going to get a lot of views.
Dude, that's a really good point. I mean, I'm sorry, I just cut you off and then stopped talking.
No, I had nothing else.
So, dude, for me, it's just like I took notes when I was watching his highlights, and one thing that I wrote is he is an absolute unit. Like, I don't
He's
know
a
how tall
monster.
he is. I feel like he's only like 6 feet, but he's fucking built, dude. We haven't seen a quarterback. Like, quarterbacks typically come lanky, even if they are on the stronger side, like Josh Allen or even Mahomes. Like, typically they're still like lanky. You know, they're not hitting the gym as much. But dude, he's like a he reminds me of like a swole gerbil, where he's just like
He's
could just
6'1",
run
220.
through people, but he's just like veins popping out of like fur. That's just like what I think of when I think of Malik Willis now. But all right, this kind of I'm just gonna go right into it. Get this out of the way. I'll just say. So right after watching the Malik Willis video, I was intrigued. I wanted to see how players in his class performed in their preseason games. So I looked up Desmond Ridder. Desmond Ridder played the whole game for the Falcons except for the first possession. He went 10 for 22 with 108 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks, and then he had 6 carries for 59 yards. And almost every single one of his carries was like a 3rd and long conversion. And my notes are looked very underlined, highlighted, capitalized, comfortable in the pocket, looked very comfortable when pushed out of the pocket, looked very comfortable tucking running downfield. Just looked like a polished NFL quarterback with no weapons around him whatsoever.
I don't know. Kyle Pitts had 1,000 yards last year.
Kyle Pitts didn't play. And the receivers for the Falcons in this particular game had anywhere between 6 and 9 drops. Some of them, the defender was kind of on their back. Some of them, the throw could have been a little bit tighter to the body. But overall, there was at least 6, 100%. This is just the receiver dropping the pass. And that's where the additional ones come in later, depending on your judgment. It didn't matter how many like drops or whatever it was. This guy looked cool, calm, and collected. Like he'd been there, like he'd done that. Like he's a fucking time traveler, and he knows how this story ends. No. I thought of this when I was at work. He's the answer to the question I never knew I was asking. Desmond Ridder.
That's so deep.
Desmond Ridder. I already put the bet in. Is going to be the 2022-2023 NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
God. Dude,
I'm serious. Marcus Mariota is a placeholder for maybe a couple weeks. I don't see him hanging around. Maybe Desmond Ridder wins the #1 job right off the rip. I don't see what they have to gain. This is another Tyrod Taylor, Danny Jones situation. This is possibly another Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis situation. Like, what do you have to gain by starting these long-time backups / unsuccessful starters? I don't understand. So, dude, I'm rooting for the kid.
Oh,
Jack,
I'm absolutely rooting for him. I think.
Yeah.
Now, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say we talked about this off the air, and I remember what you said. So I can't wait to hear what you say about Desmond Ridder right now.
He is. One thing I noticed about how he runs, he doesn't look like he's running that hard, but he's got that like lanky, lackadaisical stride, and he kind of goes. He also doesn't use his legs too much. He runs when he needs to. Um,
What about pocket presence?
he's good with that. I know I'm probably not singing your the song you want right now, but one thing I just remember is there were drops. There were absolutely drops. There were just also like I'm thinking specifically of the one with the tight end in the corner when he was diving. I think it was in the first half. Um, catchable, not like kind of a 50-50. Like, yeah, he's open, but he also threw him into a dive and like
Yeah.
so it was a little 50-50 on the drops. Maybe give Ritter a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt than 50-50, but all around probably one of the most polished rookies I've seen in an NFL game. But yeah, he's got that good balance of athleticism, pocket presence. Uh, small sample size, so we didn't get to see him snipe throughout the whole game. But I'm sure when he gets a year under his belt, he'll be big jump guy in year two.
Dude, and the Falcons have a lot going on. Like, I don't know what their running back situation is, but with Pitts and Ridley when he comes back from is he still in the Falcons?
Ridley, yeah, I think it was
So when he
just a
comes back from suspension, Drake London is there now. He's gonna have weapons. I don't know how their O line looks.
so London didn't play in the game.
I think he got hurt, dude.
Yikes. Dude, enough of this
Something
rookies
minor.
getting hurt before their career starts. Like,
Well, they probably don't train as hard. They're probably not used to training as hard, and they're probably not in shape for when camp starts. But they
obviously that's
have
a
to work hard.
unreasonable request of me and something that I like stop getting hurt, like obviously, but like, you know,
It's
I don't know, I
not
feel like we see it way too often.
all right. And then the last thing about Ritter, his touch and timing. Like, dude, my favorite passes when we're playing pickup football as a quarterback is when you throw somebody open. Like Patrick Mahomes is really good at doing that. Where like, let's just say the play's broken, he's outside the pocket, he's rolling out, and now it's up to your receiver to get open. But the receiver is on top, and the cornerback is underneath the route now because the play is broken down. You throw the ball behind both of them, but high enough in the air so that your receiver can just get under it and make the play. Those are my favorites. And pretty much anything that you have to throw high in the air for touch to give your receiver the best chance to catch it. And he threw this goal line tight end pass that was the tight end was wearing a 40 number, and he was probably 280 pounds and like 5'7". So it's not like it was the greatest receiver target, and he still made it so that only
Sounds
that
like
guy could
probably
catch it.
one of the worst options to throw to
Exactly.
ever.
And he made a perfect pass. They scored.
5'7", 280. That sounds like a definite not playing next game kind of
I think
guy.
he's a fullback.
280? Are you just like
I'm
exaggerating? Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I think both of those numbers are
Yeah,
asinine.
way off.
Okay.
All right, the real last thing I wanted to say was, it was, I think it was a 2-minute drill. They were down four, or no, they were down three, and the announcer, he's like, there's no ties in preseason football. There's no overtime, so they're gonna try to go for the touchdown on this drive. And he drove the boys down the field, and 4th and 9 from 25 after two consecutive drops from his receivers on the plays before that. He Ritter, pocket collapses, extends the play, lets it fly, and it's caught. Oh my goodness, somehow Ritter pulls a rabbit out of his hat to take the lead.
All right, if I can reenact this throw a little bit, he's running to his right. He's probably like by the numbers, and he's definitely off balance, and he throws it like across his own face. And dude, it's not like the receiver was like covered, but he wasn't open. and he threw it short, and he threw it to the front, right in the front of the end zone. He threw a catchable ball. Just like cornerback didn't make a play at all.
Dude, it also happens that like you're in those situations as a defensive back where it's like, all right, all the receivers are in the end zone, the quarterback's scrambling. All we have to do is knock this pass down and the game's over. I feel like guys get turned around. Like, why do so many Hail Marys? Like, why are they so successful? I bet you Hail Marys are like a 30% success rate.
Yeah, it's definitely higher than somebody would
Like
just guess.
you would think because it's called a Hail Mary and it's a last ditch effort that it's like a 5 or 2%. Nah, dude, it's definitely like a 30% success rate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like the cornerback got turned around, but that's not Ritter's fault. He still gave his receiver a chance to make a play. And that's what you ask for out of a quarterback, dude, especially in a moment like that. He
Can't
didn't get
deny it.
sacked. He didn't like run himself into a poor position. Like, I don't know, dude. I was really impressed across the board. And I can't wait for week 2 because I really don't want this to be like a situation where I'm super embarrassed. Also, I've
I
been
hope
talking about
not
this guy
either.
all week to everybody. All right, let's get into the Giants. Jack. All right, let's start with the first drive.
I just all right. I'm gonna start with defense. We
Okay.
don't look good
At all.
at all. If Aaron Robinson, is that his name? If he has to start at corner, Giants over every single game of the year, uh, at least letting up 28 points a week. Yeah, that guy is trash. He got burned by. I was talking to my friend. Shout out Nick Dolan if he listens up there in New Hampshire. No, Boston. Uh, he's a big Pats fan. He said this guy Wilkerson, the guy that burned Robinson on 3 straight plays and scored the touchdown on that drive. He said he's a perennial practice squad guy who's been there for 3 years. And Aaron Robinson is supposed to start cornerback
In
for us.
that deep New England wide receiver room.
Exactly. It's just it's a little embarrassing. The coverage is definitely going to be a problem this year. I don't foresee Shane going out and getting big coverage threats. The defense is definitely in a rebuild of itself, but the front seven is definitely promising. We got Ojulari and Kayvon coming off the edge with Leonard and Dex in the middle. That's kind of scary for offenses. I think that's a really good front four. And then you got Martinez and a couple rangy linebackers in there. I think we're gonna be okay in the middle and maybe against the run. But
Our safeties are better than our corners. Like we do
yeah,
have a Dory Jackson who I feel like was more of like a big name signing for a lot of money than an actual like this is a top lockdown corner play for Gettleman last year. Like we didn't see anything last year from Dory Jackson that made anybody be like, oh yeah, this was a good signing. I don't recall anybody saying that.
he
So it's like
absolutely underperformed. I think in a couple games I highlighted that he didn't play well and he got burned. And um, I think Gettleman looked at the team last year and he was going into last year and he's like, all right, we got Bradbury. He was a Pro Bowler. All right, we got Logan Ryan. Let's add another corner and our secondary will be set for years to come. Um, and you got Bradbury and Jackson as our corners are 1 and 2. Like that on paper going into last year, phenomenal. Looks unbelievable. And then they both got burned several times a game. And it was not a great showing.
and
Now Bradbury's gone and Ryan's gone.
yeah, and it almost was an obvious decision to make and an easy decision to make to cut James Bradbury and Logan Ryan because they were two of the top, I want to say, 4 paid players on the Giants. And considering like Logan Ryan wasn't that good of a safety to where he's changing the game. Like he's not like a Harrison Smith or Harrison Smith. I don't know any other safeties off the
Tyrann
top of my head.
Matthew.
But he's not like that perennial Pro Bowler that really changed the game. And James Bradbury was a Pro Bowler that one year, but wasn't the next year. So it's like, I don't know, dude. I thought it was an easy decision to make for them to dump a ridiculous amount of cap. I think they do have to eat some of their contracts next year, though. I don't really know how that works, but
Dude, there
Yeah,
was a
dude.
grievance filed by Ryan because he wasn't getting as much money as he was guaranteed. But like you said, dude, I think Gettleman just threw money at these guys because like they were making by far the most on the team, and that's a corner and a safety. It's like, what are you going to pay your left tackle? What are you going to pay your quarterback? What are we doing here?
I mean, maybe his intentions were to not sign Daniel Jones or Saquon because those two. I mean, he probably was gonna have to pay Andrew Thomas, but that was a couple years down the road, and then by then maybe you shed Logan Ryan or one of the other guys. Anyway, I mean, whatever the case was, what we have now is an extremely weak secondary. Julian Love and Xavier McKinney are our two starting safeties right now, and it doesn't like apparently Xavier Kinney is going to be the defensive play caller, which I don't think is the same as a captain. I think Blake Martinez is the captain.
Dude, I think there's a captain for each group of players. Like I think there's a D line captain and a secondary captain. Julian Love is a replacement level player. He's not a starting NFL defensive back.
He was getting really upset in my Madden franchise yesterday, saying how
Rightfully
his
so.
play is not up to the level that he expects it to be at, and that
Whose fault is that?
his own.
Exactly. There's only one place to look, and it's in the fucking mirror, boys.
That's what it's.
But Xavier McKinney, I mean, there's a lot of hope there. There's a lot of potential. He was among like some of the pick leaders in the NFL. I think he had like 5 or 7 or something like that. Maybe not 7.
You're crazy.
He might have had 5.
He might have had 3.
Okay, looking it up. Everybody is kind of saying that he's going to be our breakout defensive player besides a defensive lineman. And I just said I 65 times, but I can't really disagree with that. He had 5 interceptions last year.
That sounds good.
With 59 solo tackles.
All right, well, okay, so their secondary is weak. Their linebackers, they do have their best linebacker back healthy, but that's not really saying much. It's a young group. The linebackers are young. I think they have Zimenez and Tay Crowder. Tay Crowder, I don't know if he's young.
Oh my God.
All right. But the D line looks good. All right. Let's talk about the first drive.
All right. Dude, what do you got? Like, I just have that one play. Kenny Golladay twice so far this preseason, this offseason, has shown lack of detail in his routes, lazy route running, lack of effort. Looks like he doesn't want to be here. I'm going off on a collective 10 seconds of film. And this is how I feel. I don't really know the situation. I don't know how he feels. I don't know if it's lack of chemistry, miscommunication. I don't know what it is. He just looks like he's not running hard. He looks like he's not paying attention to the details and trying to do everything that he can to help this team win.
I don't think that Kenny Golladay should be the focus of anybody's talk when talking about the Giants. Like I'm not saying you right now. I'm saying
Well, everybody's talking about
Kenny
that drop.
Golladay
That
is
is the
going
that
to-
drop is
but
the
that's what I'm
number
saying,
one
dude.
conversation about the Giants right now.
And what I was going to bring up was, I don't know if you remember this play, but there was a screen to Darius Slayton where I'm pretty sure we looked at each other and said, I didn't even know that he was still on the team. It was Slayton was lined up on the bottom of the screen. They were going left to right, so on the right side of the offense. I don't know if he was by himself or not, but Daniel Jones normally like on a receiver screen, especially last year, they snap it, they let the rush come, and then they dump it like a nice lollipop to the receiver, and then hopefully the linemen are up the field and in place to be able to clear lane. They took Evan Neal. He's the right tackle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And right off the snap had him booking it to the first like linebacker or like safety. And I think he actually took out the linebacker quickly and the safety after that. But Daniel Jones snapped the ball and looked like he threw an MLB like pitch. He threw it that hard. Like snap, throw as hard as he possibly could. Slayton, all he had to do was be looking at the football like they snapped the ball and now he's immediately getting the ball in his possession and you got Evan Neal running a fucking train through the defense in front of you. Like that, you're not starting from the behind the line of scrimmage. Just that play call and that play design is different. It
I was gonna say
everything I needed to know.
I think that is just an immediate evidence of the difference of play calling. That there's that creativity, and you. I mean, Evan Neal is a substantial difference with who would be running that play from his position in the past. Really scary guy to run behind, but dude, if Darius Slayton catches, I don't want him on the team. I don't. I know, dude. It's
So let's just say it was
preseason.
Tony that caught it. I'm more saying the play call, and I'm more saying like the deep like that play. We didn't even allow the defense to have a chance to react and to understand what was happening. So by the nature of the play, with Evan Neal running like leading the play, you're picking up 8 to 10 to 15 yards because they can't even react and get to you in time unless they know it's coming, of course, or somebody makes a play. That play that specifically, they picked up 17 yards, and it was pure play design. But the other thing is Barkley looks healthy. He was running north south.
Mhm.
We were talking about this before, how he wasn't. We were talking about this before we got on a podcast. I have a quote from him after the game, how he says last year he didn't feel comfortable in his own body or confident in himself, and that this year he feels loose and free and isn't overthinking anything anymore. Sounds like he's healthy. So that's another thing. Kadarius Toney wasn't even with the team. The first drive, they went 13 plays, I think 75 yards or 68 because they had to kick the field goal at the 7-yard line. And Daniel Jones converted with his legs. They converted on a screen. They converted on a couple slants. They had different receivers. Colin Johnson was featured. Galladay did make a couple catches. And the O-line, the starting O-line was out there. And how much time did Daniel Jones have per snap? Probably 2-3 seconds. Was able to get the ball comfortably out of his hands. They take who got hurt? Shane Lemieux.
Yeah.
He hurt his toe, and then Dable was very, very stern on this after the game. He was like, Thomas was getting one series. No way in hell he was getting more than one series. So now your left guard is out with an injury, and your left tackle is out because it's the preseason, and the second drive was a shit show. Daniel Jones got rushed really bad every time. I think he got sacked. It was like a 3rd and long, and they had no chance to convert. It was a shit show. So my biggest takeaway, if the offensive line can protect Daniel Jones, we can score. That's really all I want to say. We can score the football.
I really have no rebuttal to that.
And yeah,
He just seems like he really needs a lot of help in order to be successful.
He's never had any help. Ever.
That's a
in
good
any
point.
situation. Coaches, O-line, running back's been hurt his whole career. The receivers have all been hurt.
That's a good point.
It's even when Odell was there, he was hurt. Galladay signed last year and was hurt. Shepard's hurt
I was gonna
every
say
year,
Daniel
like 8
Jones
games.
Daniel Jones and Odell were never on the same team. So
Evan Ingram was hurt all the time, and when he wasn't on the field, he was dropping balls.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't care if he
It's
was
been a
hurt.
shit show.
He was terrible.
So, yeah, man. I just had to. I don't know if that was a Daniel Jones rant or I legitimately see success in the near future with the offense. At least not 7. What do we have? 9 points per game on offense the last 10 games last year.
I think regardless of personnel, it was a massive positive seeing the play calls. I think the coaching is already exponentially better than the past.
And I think that dude, Dable's presser after, they were asking questions about the dropped pass or about it just seemed like he wasn't satisfied at all. I'm pretty sure he had a quote earlier in the offseason where he was like, we don't care if our quarterback goes 0 for 20 on a day of practice. If he goes 0 for 20 and everybody's where they're supposed to be, then that's all we're asking for. I feel like he was a little rattled because people weren't where they were supposed to be on the field.
Okay.
Which is a good sign, dude, because I thought that people did well. Better than we've seen. So.
In a long time.
All right. Are you good on the Giants, dude?
Yeah.
We got the Bengals next week.
My biggest takeaways for the Giants was just the obvious change in the coaching ability and defense looked terrible.
It seems like the defense might take a little longer than the offense to come along.
For sure.
A lot of those guys haven't ever played together.
We've had a couple studs in the past 5 seasons that we've just let go. So including JPP. So
all right, well, are you good? I'm good, bro.
I'm all set there, bud.
Yes, man.
It's been the CinqBoys
podcast. Up in
podcast.
Madden?
Yeah. I'm gonna plow through dinner. I'm super excited. That's like literally 20 seconds into my future. Follow us on Instagram at CinqBoys. Same handle on Twitter. And we have a website. If you ever want to check it out, it's at www.CinqBoys Sports Betting and News Podcast. No spaces, no dashes.
Straight to the point. Yes, Buzz. Also, don't forget, play action pools, 15% off with the code CINQ.
I didn't know it was spreads. That's going to be a nice little interesting twist.
Yeah, dude. The Ravens
it was all
over
just going to be
Jets
winners. Yeah,
was my pick, and the Ravens are -8 with Zach Wilson playing. Without him,
dude, with their defense, that's at least 2 picks. Let's go.
Yes, Buzz. Yes, Buzz. But Wink's not there anymore. Yes, Buzz.
They got Kyle Hamilton.
Oh.
The new Ed Reed.
The rookie DC. First player coach?
No.
Okay. Wink is with us. He's with them. Yes, man.
Wink with the mullet. The 62-year-old mullet.
Also, Broncos Seahawks. Spread is pretty light. I think it's -5. Broncos, obviously. I think I'm going to take that one. You're not allowed to take it. All right,
Broncos? I was going to say I might take the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yes, you cut off after yeah. I just see your mouth open like I can't hear anything.
Classic.
CinqBoys.